I've got some good news that doesn't sound like good news. So, you know how revoking Roe v. Wade has led to a rising tide of women, especially, who are opposed to the GOP? Because, as it turns out, a lot of people, liked having reproductive rights, and now far fewer of them actually do. The big divide in the GOP, or one of the big divides, has been how far do we take the anti-abortion thing? If you'll recall, the previous chair of the RNC resigned, giving a speech on the importance of being moderate when it comes to anti-abortion legislation. Remember? We saw it just a few days ago.
It is a little bit bittersweet to be with all of you here today as I step down as chair after 7 years. We cannot put our head in the sands and ignore abortion and the Dobbs decision. Many of our candidates chose to ignore this issue and not talk about it. And the RNC was a leading issue, urging candidates to talk about this issue head on.
Okay, so what she's saying here, because she's trying to thread the needle here, the GOP is made up of a bunch of different groups with regards to opinions on abortion. You have people for whom they're like authentically Christian and they don't like abortion for religious reasons. You have people who like removing abortion as a way of sort of returning to earlier gender roles. You have people who think a moderate solution is necessary, like some kind of 16-week cutoff or whatever. You have people who want a total abortion ban. If you'll remember, about a year ago, one of the big lines was whether or not the GOP was going to go for the removing Roe v. Wade line or the federal abortion ban line. Remember? Remember that? Remember how, I don't remember which Republican politician it was, but they actually got a lot of blowback because they essentially made it known they wanted a federal abortion ban, which at the time, the GOP didn't want to commit to because it was so politically unpopular that they knew they couldn't get away with it. Was that Lindsey Graham? I think I remember it being Lindsey Graham, but I don't remember for sure. Then there's also the question of exceptions in cases like rape and incest. Basically, the line is, how much are they supposed to concede to pragmatism, political pragmatism, and how much do they want to appeal to the hardliners who want a total federal abortion ban, no exceptions? Remember? That's what she's talking about here.
Go figure. I'm a suburban mom. I might have some opinions on this issue. I authored a memo in the summer of 2022 highlighting how we win on this issue when voters are faced with a decision between a Republican that supports exceptions and reasonable limitations when a baby feels pain and a Democrat who supports no exceptions, no limits, not even when a baby feels pain.
See? Right here. The line that she's distinguishing, the one that she says is electorally viable, is one where you lie about the Democrat position and pretend they're in favor of like baby mutilation 1 second before they're born, but you contrast it against a Republican who believes in exceptions for rape and incest and who doesn't want a total ban. You understand what she's doing here, right? She's advocating for moderation.
Too many candidates, and specifically their consultants, scoffed at this advice and ended up paying the price on Election Day.
Yep. And on 2022, during the midterms, after the Roe v. Wade revocation, a bunch of hardliners ended up losing when they were expected to win, either in their primaries or in the general, because they were too punitive with abortion. You understand what she's going on about? Chat, stick with me here, okay? We're talking concepts here. We're following? We following? I got lost, TLDR. No, go back and rewatch. There will be a test. All right? We understand, Vosh. We ain't dumb. Whatever you say. So anyway, that has been one of the big lines in the sand for the GOP now for about 2 years. It's how hard do we take the abortion thing? Donald Trump, who's not exactly a great Christian himself, has been strategically ambiguous on the subject for a long while, but he hasn't really signaled intention to put forward a federal abortion ban. In fact, when asked about it in the past, he has backed off it, saying he's never made any such statements. Here's Donald Trump making such a statement as of yesterday on a radio show.
The number of weeks now, people are agreeing on 15, and I'm thinking in terms of that, and it'll come out to something that's very reasonable. But people are really, even hardliners are agreeing, seems to be 15 weeks, seems to be a number that people are agreeing at. But I'll make that announcement at the appropriate time. But the issue of abortion, we brought it back to the states, and everybody agrees that you've heard this for years. All the legal scholars on both sides agree it's a state issue. Shouldn't be a federal issue. It's a state issue.
It's Donald Trump, so it's difficult to parse what exactly he's saying. But essentially, he's saying that after consultation, he believes that he could appease everybody in the Republican Party by advocating for like a general 15-week ban. But he also doesn't seem fully committed to the idea. The funny thing is, this is actually pretty bad for Trump, okay? And the reason for that is that nobody's happy with this. A federal abortion ban is going to be massively unpopular to most of the country under any circumstances. But him saying that 15 weeks would be reasonable and would appease all Republicans also angers the hardliners, because the strategic ambiguity the Trump campaign has taken previously on a federal abortion ban also was a way of keeping the crazy far-right people who want a complete abortion ban federally from getting mad at Trump for not supporting that. He punted and missed, lol. Yeah, there's a reason why the strategic ambiguity was the right move to make. Around 15 weeks of pregnancy, da-da-da. But people are really, even hardliners are agreeing, 15 weeks seems to be a number that people are agreeing at, which is going to make a lot of people angry. Last month, Trump's campaign dismissed reports that he privately had expressed for support for a ban on abortion after 16 months of pregnancy, calling the report fake news. The campaign did not offer details on Trump's plans, only saying he planned to negotiate a deal on abortion. Trump was asked by a reporter about a ban on abortion 16 weeks, and he said, "We'll be talking about that soon." Basically, he's been signaling this for a while, but this is not going to be to his benefit. Did I say 16 months, 16 weeks? This is not going to be to his benefit at all. Personally, I welcome this, okay? It seems like the Republicans are only going to dig themselves in deeper and deeper and deeper, on the abortion issue. Is it possible he was just appealing to the radio listeners and isn't really that committed? I don't think he's that committed, like himself, probably not, but it seems likely to me that this is the only way the GOP thinks they're going to be able to keep leading people around with a carrot at the end of a stick when it comes to the abortion issue. You got to understand, the GOP has been campaigning on abortion for 50 years. Revoking Roe v. Wade was one of the central promises of local and federal, not just Republicans, conservatives too. There used to be a lot more pro-life Democrats, and then they did it. They got rid of Roe v. Wade. What do they do now, right? I mean, there has to be something. If this is the line they go down, I welcome it. It seems pretty politically ineffective. Pro-life voters are offended by any timeline. I was once one of them. Yeah, it's not really like a winnable battle politically. So, you can seem like you're on the cusp of winning, but if you believe abortion is murder, you won't be appeased by only a little bit of murder. Yeah, it's not really, it's a philosophical issue that people don't tend to take moderate stances on, Why can't they leave it at revoking Roe v. Wade? Wouldn't that be effective? Well, we're talking about what is or isn't politically effective versus what is or isn't necessary to appeal to the crazy evangelicals. The crazy evangelicals don't want blue states to be doing abortions either, They don't think, like, to them, at least to the ones that are sincere in their beliefs, the idea of blue states being permitted to, still do abortions would be like having murder be legal in half the country, That's not acceptable to them. Yeah, they want a complete federal ban, no exceptions. But that's so politically unpopular that it's basically unfeasible, but that won't stop them from pushing for it. It just makes more people not want the Republicans to win. Wasn't part of repealing Roe v. Wade from their perspective a lot about states' rights? States' rights has always been a lie every single time. No one actually believes in states' rights. 0 people do. Nobody does. Everybody wants the whole goddamn government. The only reason they say states' rights is because they want to get away with getting half of what they want before getting all of what they want. There are Republicans who want to revoke the Civil Rights Act because they want it to be up to the state whether or not this or this happens. They don't want state freedom. They just want some states to go back to having no protections for racism when it comes to employment or whatever else, It's nobody believes in states' rights. Absolutely no one. 0 people do. Yeah, contraception as well is a big part of this. Isn't this bad for Biden because he can't do the Trump wants the federal abortion ban bill, I'm your shield, I'll veto it bit? I mean, he would. If Biden was president and somehow a federal abortion ban got through the House and the Senate, then Biden would veto that. So, yeah, this is good for Biden. Banning contraception is even more unpopular, especially with young voters. Yeah, I'm getting an article up on that now. Biden may have a lot of problems, but the Republicans can keep reminding people of how much worse they are. Republican opposition to birth control bill could alienate voters, pull fines. Really? Is that true? Arbitrarily banning something that makes people's lives better and enables a lot more freedom and reproductive control might alienate voters. That's crazy. Survey conducted by Americans for Contraception shows the overwhelming popularity of birth control, obviously. suggests voters are primed to punish Republicans for opposing a measure to protect access to it. When voters were told that 195 House Republicans had voted against the Right to Contraception Act, 64% of them said they'd be less likely to support Republican candidates for Congress, according to the poll. Whew! And overall, the issue of protecting access to contraception bolstered voters' preferences for Democrats by 9 points, giving them a 12-point edge over Republicans, up from 3. Well, that's nice. Have you heard about the singer who was passing out contraception in a state that banned the sale of it? I saw people getting mad about this. Olivia Rodrigo hands out emergency contraceptives at concert in Missouri where abortion is banned. That's not contraceptives being banned, that's abortion being banned. Contraception sales are legal in every state in the union, though some states have weirdo laws about it. Or do you mean Plan B is banned here? In Missouri, abortion is illegal. She'll no longer do this. After backlash, Olivia Rodrigo won't allow birth control to be handed out at concerts. How bad was the backlash? Free Plan B. Oh, okay. Yeah, if you're handing out Plan B, you're going to get more pushback than handing out condoms. You know, you can fire condoms into the crowd with a gigantic like t-shirt cannon, you know. Plan B gets people riled up a lot more. People got big mad because their fan base has a lot of minors. Okay. Do you want minors getting pregnant? Is that the implication of that logic? Don't what you're telling me that the health counselor at a high school is handing out condoms? They're high schoolers. Do you want them getting pregnant? Vosh, people pretend minors don't have sex. This is like an American evangelical conservative thing. That's one of the reasons why they push to not have any sex ed and just teach like abstinence-only education. They literally pretend, and then inevitably their girls get pregnant way younger than blue state girls, you know? I'm telling, like, if you want to go like city by city, and I've driven around a lot of America, okay? I have been around, and I have seen girls holding like young girls that are their daughters, okay? I've been around like cities, and in cities, when you see girls holding their daughters, you know, the girls that are holding the daughters, they look like me. They look like adults, all right? Not me like the beard and the height and stuff, okay? But if I'm driving around like rural America, go over to Idaho, whatever else, stop by a gas station, I see like a girl and her daughter, you know, talking to her, she's her daughter, whatever. Those girls, the older ones, look like they could be my daughters. There are a lot of young pregnancies, and a lot of them are out in the sticks, rural areas, red state bullshit, and it's creepy as hell, you know? Yeah, every inner city girl looks exactly like me, you know? That's true. What does Plan B do? Plan B, it does a thingy that prevents the thingy from getting fertilized. I don't remember the exact mechanics of it. It's not good for you to take. Like, you should only take it if you really need to. It's like, yeah, that's why it's called Plan B. It prevents the egg from attaching. Oh, okay, so the egg gets fertilized, but it doesn't attach to the uterine wall. Yeah. Basically, it casts the grease spell on the inside of your uterine wall, and the fertilized egg bounces off it. You shit it out or something, I don't know. It also gives you tummy aches like a mother. Why bad for frequent use? I thought that was propaganda. No. It gets you. You're doing like the reproductive equivalent of taking like Ipecac to induce vomiting. You know, it's like it won't kill you. You probably don't want to do it every day though. Yeah, it's not cheap either. Yeah, it's also less effective on fat people because they've already got grease in their body, so they're used to it. Not everyone was thrilled. Missouri State Senator Bill Eigel said on Twitter, "As the father of a daughter, I'm horrified by this. As the father of a daughter, I want my daughter to get pregnant, thank you." Adding that he thinks Rodrigo should be ashamed. Yeah. Teen pregnancy ranks by state 2023. God damn. That is significant. Look at that. Sucks they folded any, but I mean, it's still nice to draw attention to it, I suppose. Goff, don't shame me in front of my audience. F you, piece of shit. Jesus. But I'm just minding my own business, and the website's like, yeah, lard ass, when was the last time you took a walk? F off, Jesus. Interesting that the Rust Belt has maintained a relatively low level of teen pregnancy, I feel. It really does seem like it's almost a perfect correlation to like rural area and poverty, doesn't it? Right? Maybe. California is at 10%, but you know, Vermont and New Hampshire are both here. They both have a lot of rural, but they're pretty wealthy per capita states, I think. What about sex health curriculum? Looks like the numbers are going down across the board, which is good. Except for Montana. Yeah, I want to see the correlation between, like, the sex health curriculum rating. Like, if you go all the way down here. Oh, man. Arkansas doesn't even have a sex health curriculum rating. 85.7% in Mississippi. Louisiana doesn't even have the rating. A lot of these states right here don't. I guess California doesn't either, so I guess it's just not kept in the states. Could also correlate with the black population in the state. There is definitely going to be a pretty big element of that, yeah. Though keep in mind, I'm not saying that like teen pregnancies are a race thing. I think it's a class and religion and access to education thing, but those problems will hit everyone, right? Poverty and education are probably going to be the big ones, you know? Like a lot of people kind of laugh at the idea of people being like people getting knocked up due to education stuff, but you guys, maybe non-Americans don't get this. A lot of young Americans believe insane shit about sex. Like a lot of like in religious environments or with really poor education or with like a very patriarchal or conservative family structure, you will hear the wildest shit. You will hear like the girl can't get pregnant unless she orgasms. You'll hear that you won't get pregnant as long as you stand up afterwards, so the cum drips out of you. You'll hear like the girl won't get pregnant as long as they do some other weird archaic thing like eat a bunch of salt after. I thought for a decent portion of me being in high school that pre-cum couldn't get people pregnant, which is like, you know, extremely loud and correct buzzer. Pre-cum itself can't, but there's still sperm in your urethra that gets carried out in the pre-cum, so functionally it can, you know, like it's not in high school. A lot of guys believe that, like, generally. Yeah. It's legitimately not that uncommon for American kids to believe kissing is the only way to get pregnant because dumbass parents are like, oh, babies are when two people love each other and kiss. Yeah, that literally happens, you know? It's all just a bunch of stuff like that, you know, all together. I believed that for a while as well, Vosh. Yeah, I knew a girl in high school that believed that. Yeah, I'm telling you, you know? It's crazy. I mean, when should they be taught the real thing? That pregnancy happens with the sperm in the goop? Like, 5th grade, which is the standard age of basic sex ed for me and for a lot of Americans. 5th grade, the 5th grade sex ed is when the teacher says, look, if you do this, that's how babies are made. And then like older sex ed at 8th or 9th or whatever, I don't know, whenever then, is when they say, okay, dipshits, all right, you know about all this information we told you? All right, now let's tell you more, you know, like more complicated shit, basically. It's like 2-tiered sex ed. I mean, it varies state by state, so. Are you familiar with Roe v. Bros? She goes around asking guys questions. Well, wait, hold on. Oh, shit. This is good content. I know it's originally on TikTok, but I hate using TikTok.
Why are there different sizes of tampons?
Can I curse on here? Different size pussies?
We're at the March for Life for another episode of Roe v. Bros, a game show where we find out how much men know about women's bodies. How much blood do women lose on their period, on average?
Bucket?
I think it's like a gallon of blood.
Okay, I was kidding, but you know. Hey, I'll tell you, hey fellas, they certainly act like it's a gallon of blood, huh? that's where they're always bitching about it. You get me. You get me.
I'd assume probably like a shitload of blood.
Which is more sensitive, the clitoris or the penis?
Penis. Penis for sure, yeah. I'm gonna go with penis.
Dude, how do you have a mustache like that and not know a lot about the clit? Isn't this the mustache that people shave when they think they're sex gods?
Penis.
Gotcha. How much paid leave do new mothers get?
Maybe 3-4 months, depending on where they work.
What is a period?
Blood.
You're feeling pretty good about this, aren't you?
I know 100% about women's bodies.
We'll see. Can you pee with a tampon in?
No.
You can.
Can you pee with a tampon in?
You can, but it's gonna hurt.
These guys, they subscribe to a Hazite thought with the number of holes that a woman has.
No, I don't think so. That'd be isn't that kind of unhealthy though? Because it's inside you and you're peeing in it.
Can you poop with a tampon in?
No.
How do you?
Going number 2 with that in you? I'd say no.
Did you have sex ed in school?
Yeah.
Did you have sex ed in school?
Yes, we did.
Did you have sex ed in school?
Yes.
With those answers in mind, clearly there's more work to be done.
Jesus. Yeah. Wait, this is actually very entertaining. One more. Walmart brand Lacey Green. Didn't Lacey Green become Walmart brand Lacey Green? Rate her suit. Oh, I wasn't even looking at her suit. I can, yeah.
How long do women have to wait after giving birth before they can have sex?
I mean, it just depends how much pain they want to endure. I think.
Well, wait, hold on. Technically, his answer is correct, right? Like, it's if you want to get technical about it, he's not wrong. It's just.
1 second. The real answer is 1 second, right?
Yeah, exactly. He's like, yeah, you know, it depends on how good your girl is, honestly. Yeah, you know.
We're here for another episode of Roe v. Bros. Today, we're going to find out how much men know about childbirth. What is the biggest baby to ever be delivered?
Let's go with 6.8 pounds.
22 pounds. Okay, I wouldn't have gotten this right, you know.
I don't know, like 7 pounds. Like, no, not 7 pounds, right? That too much or too little?
It's 22 pounds.
Oh my God. Oh my fucking God.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Aren't they usually like 16? I think it's like 10-ish, right? Around like 10, maybe less, like 8, 9, 10, like that, right? Around 7 to 8. Okay. Yeah. I think I was 9. I think I was 9. I think more or less.
Guess how much blood women lose during a C-section and tell.
C-section. Well, I don't know. Okay. C-section. Like a lot. Like C-sections are, you're going in, you know, but how much do you lose though? Right? Because the abdomen doesn't, it's not like a neck vein where the blood spurts out or whatever, right? Like, you know, you open it up and a lot of the blood's just swimming around in there. I don't really know much about how surgery works.
Tell us when to stop.
All right, well, commit to the bit.
Stop.
That is a lot of blood. I didn't think you could lose this much blood and survive, to be honest.
What does a C and C-section
1 to 2 liters. Sheesh. All right.
stand for?
Cystoral?
Cut sections, because they're cutting.
Something like that. Your dad's a doctor, bro. Like, come on, it has to run in the blood or something. Oh! Oh, wait, no.
I was a C-section baby. I feel like I should know this.
I was gonna say clavicle, but that's like this. That's this, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, it's not. It's not that.
With those answers in mind, clearly there's more work to be done.
Oh, this was a harder trivia one. This was like a challenge run. Here, wait, one more. I'm a sucker for this stuff, you know.
Can you show us with your hands how to insert?
Oh, we don't have music. This is like an early one. We don't have the jazzy music.
Tampon.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. And then
I could be a doctor.
welcome to another episode of Roe v. Bros, the game show where we find out how much men know about women's bodies. All right, so we're gonna let you
guy who thinks they put it in sideways, you know.
choose on the board our first question.
Let's go with sex.
How long do you have to wait after birth until you can have sex?
Maybe leaving the hospital.
These guys are very ambitious. It's very funny, but at the same time, I do feel bad because I know that like a lot of women actually are pressured for sex after giving birth, you know, like their husbands get antsy or whatever because they're not. Yeah, it's pretty common, unfortunately. It's pretty weird. I don't know. Wouldn't the doctor tell them not to? Well, yeah, sure, but that doesn't make them less horny or like rude. I don't know.
So immediately.
Pretty much.
Great. How much blood is there for the average period?
I'm not really good with measurements.
Rocky, do you have anything to say on the husband stitch? A type of stitch after giving birth called the husband stitch? Oh, like they rip the pussy because they... I don't know, man. That just sounds like... Pardon me. Sorry for being literally like the best boyfriend ever. But if my partner gave birth, I would simply not have sex with them right afterwards. You know? I am that good. Thank you. Yeah. Also, whenever I hear about that, it just makes me think like, okay, assume the wife even wants to have sex at all, right? And, you know, she's just gone through about as much physical trauma as you can go through without being, I don't know, bludgeoned with a... No, Vosh, it's the doctor makes it tighter with an extra stitch for the husband, so she's not ruined by birth. It's much worse. Oh, to like make the pussy tighter after or something? It's like getting like an extra like cosmetic bit. So what would that mean, that it heals tighter than it was before, or the point would be that it heals to the same diameter that it was before you gave birth? It's apparently super painful usually. Call me a saint, which I am, but I would actually not ask for that. First of all, listen, day to day in my life, folks, okay? I don't need people to be tighter, you know? I'm just saying, if anything, it's an issue for me. But also, that seems uncomfortable, yeah. You're a saint. I know. It's to make it smaller than before. Yeah, I don't. Like, even if I had a partner who was interested in sex after giving birth, which, guys, I don't know. Like, pardon me for getting a little blue collar here, but if I've taken like a giant shit after Thanksgiving, I don't think I would want to have sex after that. And I think giving birth to a baby is like at least 3 giant Thanksgiving shits. So I really don't fault anyone, you know. It just seems like a lot. But like at the same time, couldn't you just do oral? Like if you wanted to, I mean. Like this seems like a solvable problem. or masturbate. No, I'm saying if the chick did want to fuck around after giving birth. That's what, like, in the condition that she was interested. I don't know. This seems like a skill issue. One of the reasons why no sex after giving birth is because the placenta detaches from the uterus and causes a dinner plate-sized open wound in the uterus. Huh. Really is a miracle that people with wombs can survive all this. You know, I have to say. It seems like basically every other mammal is like, they get pregnant and they get like a little larger and then they shit out like 8 little babies that will be walking around in 2 minutes. And then with humans, it's like, actually, no, you just die one in 5 times without medical care. And the baby's fucking useless forever, basically. Yeah, we're the 5 heads of the animal kingdom.
Like a quart is smaller than a pint?
Yes.
I would imagine a new tampon every day. So each day of the period.
Okay.
Why are there different sizes of tampons?
Because there are different sizes of vaginas, I imagine.
Are you registered to vote?
Yes.
Are you registered to vote?
I'm registered to vote.
Are you registered to vote?
Yes.
Don't let man brains outvote women in the upcoming election. Vote November 8th.
I don't know. I find these cute. Ayo, girl, what size pussy you wear? Well, a lot of guys don't ever interact with, like, dry pussies, right? So they don't know that if you're not wet, a pussy is like, you can't get anything in there, basically. It, like, if they're not, unless they be fucking, you know, it's like, you know, like, there's no size issue. That's not an issue. Do you know what a cervix is or does? A cervix is the thing that if you hit it really hard, you feel good, but then the girl gets a tummy ache and tells you to stop, and you're like, my bad, guess my magnum dong is too I'm sorry. Almost unmodded myself. Sorry. Sorry. I know people get weird about this, but I don't know, man. I feel like everyone should just get a C-section. It's probably more expensive, right? But like, it seems like you can save yourself so much trouble by just getting a C-section. They're pretty safe these days, aren't they? It seems like there are so many complications with birth. No? They're not? Lots more trauma? Really? I remember hearing it was the opposite, that in a lot of cases, it's less traumatic. I guess the doctor would recommend it if it's surgery. Well, okay, it is surgery. In fairness, however, giving birth, also a little like surgery in the sense that your innards are violently rearranged and you lose a lot of blood. So there's, you know, it's very much, you know, you lose dynamic. Ladies, remember to outvote Vosh. What did I do? Except the body is designed to give birth. Yeah, but like, without medical intervention, isn't childbirth like a 1 in 10 death rate? Or 9 in 10 survival? Right? That's crazy. 10% chance of death with no medical intervention, and you only give birth to 1 baby at a time, on average, you know, 1.2 or whatever yeah. So that is a wildly bad process